So you've championed one law theology in the Messianic movement. How do you see Gentiles in the body of Christ, or Gentiles versus? I mean, how do you see Gentiles in the body of Christ?
I see Gentile and Jew as one in the Messiah, and here's why. From the very beginning of the Tanakh, what is the promise that is made to Abraham? When God chose Abraham to be his chosen one, he made a covenant. And what was the very core of that covenant? In your seed, all the nations of the earth would be blessed. Why would Paul, in his writings, say that in Romans that the Gentile believer is grafted in? Why does the Gentile believer need to be grafted in? He's talking about the covenant that was made with Abraham, renewed to Jacob, and so forth and so on, all the way along. In your seed, who's that seed? The scriptures make clear that that's Yeshua. In your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, but it is in part of a covenant made with Abraham and carried on to Jacob, that is Israel. So to be grafted into Israel means to be grafted into the covenant that was made with Israel from the very beginning. And that's the main point. Now, this the two house thing, they're grasping at straws. They think everybody has to be Jewish in order to be in that covenant. No, God's purpose has always been that he would save people from every nation, from every family, from every tribe, in terms of the genealogies and so forth and so on. And there would be a host of people that no one could number that would be proof that God has kept his promise. And what a joy to be together as there's Jew and Gentile within a Messianic community, and we are on equal planes, and we have equal grace through the work that Yeshua has done, given to us by his Ruach, by his Spirit.
So then I think the question that automatically comes from that is, then what does it mean for the Jewish people to be chosen?
It's a nation. It's the nation that's chosen. When you read through Ezekiel, which, by the way, my wife and I are reading through Ezekiel now and have been for the last months, you see that God is punishing Israel, giving Israel over to her enemies because she has strayed from him. Israel is not, when he says that Israel is his chosen people, it means that it's a nation. It's a lineage through whom the Messiah is coming. Now, does that mean that a Jewish person has more value in the eyes of God than a Gentile? No. It means that this nation was to be the means by which God would bring about his ultimate plan of salvation. And so, should we therefore also recognize that God has an eternal aspect, or at least within our given in world history, with Israel? God is the God of Israel. And we should therefore uphold Israel and pray for Israel and seek in every way to bring the gospel to all who are part of that lineage. But we should never think that God puts a Jewish person above everyone else. No. Those that are in the Messiah Yeshua are one. They are one together, and they comprise the very family of God.